I feel like the Sims team is plotting something because there's going to be a live stream today, and I think a lot of us are expecting some kind of news. I mean, they've teased an expansion pack, they've teased this baby update, so I don't think it's unreasonable to be expecting maybe an announcement or something. But truthfully, I don't really know what to expect. They set the bar really high with their last stream, but I don't think anything will ever come close to that Sims Summit again. You just can't top a Sims 5 announcement. I don't think it's possible. So obviously, I don't expect today to be anything like that, but judging based on their past streams where it's usually just like a couple sim gurus talking at a desk, I don't really know what today will bring. Is it gonna be like that again? Is it gonna be like some sort of more highly produced thing again? They're going live in like 10 minutes, so I thought we could watch the stream together. I'm not really sure if it's gonna be worth like reacting to, but I figured I might as well record it just in case. While we're waiting, now is probably a good time for any of you who maybe don't already follow them to go follow the Sims on Twitch. People always ask me like, wait, where's the stream? How do I watch it? It's just twitch.tv/The Sims, and all their old streams are like still on the channel, so if you missed this one live, you can still watch it back later. I'm gonna link their Twitch channel down below, but I'm also gonna link my own Twitch channel down below because I stream like every day on Twitch. I think that plug was justified, okay? It's relevant. We're talking about streams. Okay, they're live. They don't usually do this. Did you start early by accident? I'm kind of scared. Why has it started already? Should I be alarmed?
Some of you may know him as Sim Guru Grant, but I'm happy to formally introduce him to you all as the game director for Project Renee.
Okay, we're starting fast.
Get comfortable. Okay, Project Renee.
Oh my god, my cat is here. Now is not the time. Snap, they're talking about the Sims 5.
We are absolutely thrilled to finally put this experience in the hands of some of our players. Well, a small part of the experience. What we're doing is early days play testing, and this is just the start of an incredibly long journey. There's a lot to do, and I'm talking years out, but it is exciting, we're moving, and things are finally starting to happen. All of this on both mobile and PC. This is a huge challenge. But the thing that excites us so much is that we can basically remove the barriers to play for The Sims. So what we mean by this is that you can have that deep dive at home on your PC, play for 4 hours, change every single thing
see more
about
footage.
furniture that you imagine.
This whole thing makes me nervous.
RGB values and changing every single part.
Color
so
wheel.
that's the PC experience. That's that true rich experience that you're used to. But then on the go, you can grab your phone, and maybe it's a different experience. Maybe you're grabbing archetypes, pre-selecting templates, or grabbing the stuff that you've already created. But what this means is that you can now play The Sims wherever you are, without barriers, without restrictions, and we think that's really powerful and really exciting.
But I actually also want to ask a little bit about the multiplayer experience.
Oh my
The Sims
god.
historically
This whole thing makes me nervous.
Game outside of like The Sims Bustin' Out and The Sims Online, and there's been a long-standing discussion on whether, you know, the next iteration or the evolution of The Sims should be multiplayer or single player. So I'm very curious to learn, like, where's Project Renee landing in there?
Project Renee can be both. So this is a big deal, but the reality is that yes, we know that our players want to have that intimate, personal experience.
What stage are we at with Project Renee? You know, more playtests, releasing next month? I'm kidding. Not releasing next month. But where are we at in this journey for Project Renee, and what can players
Oh, I don't know if that was a good joke to make. Gonna give people the wrong idea. I have a lot of thoughts, but it's all moving so fast.
Coming up next,
The Sims 4 is celebrating The Sims' 23rd birthday by announcing a new bundle of joy. Let's take a look.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm sorry, free play. I don't care though. I just want this. Oh, oh my god. It's a baby! I could cry! They're playing together? No. Oh, I'm so excited. March 14th. Oh, Okay, I'm so glad they gave a date for that.
No way, I've literally stopped my current Legacies gameplay for this update.
Me too! I need to write that down.
Check out this behind the scenes look the team put together into the coming update.
Please? Oh my god, I'm so glad we get more footage.
From the very first days of this project, the objective the team rallied around was to surpass player expectations for freeing the babies. Now, our vision to accomplish that was to add infants as an entirely new age, resulting in a much more natural progression through Sims' early stages of life.
My cat is still here watching, by the way.
To the Sims,
like, she's been here the whole time.
We had to figure out how to display the infant, since they're too young to stand on their own. We tried a lot of ideas. Some worked great, some didn't work so great, and a few were just plain creepy.
We created a lot of new technologies. So now in the game, while holding an infant, you are able to sit down while still holding them. You can also talk to them,
excited.
Nurse them. You can even give your infants to another Sim.
Oh, that's creepy looking. I don't like that.
Since infants are just starting to develop their motor skills and figure out how to move their limbs and weight around, you'll see they tend to flop around with over-exaggerated, uncoordinated movement. A great example of this is how they transition from sitting to laying on their back.
I got to animate the crawl up and down of the step. I really wanted the player to kind of see the thought process of their infant here, since they move with such a singular focus. So they'll take a moment to notice the step, and then they start to break it down one tiny movement at a time.
I'm so excited about this.
Obstacle and can continue on their way. Definitely challenging, but also super cute.
No, don't leave.
For the infant Sim, we had the unique challenge of finding a voice that was realistic, but one that was still cute when making distressing vocalizations, like crying or whining. The cute checkbox was definitely checked.
The infant has to be able to be fully customizable from head to toe. We added new various infant clothing, shoes.
Oh, we're gonna have to watch
hair,
this back and see everything.
Accessory, glasses, infant teeth, and birthmark.
One area that we leaned into was adding more ways to socialize and play between children, toddlers, infants, newborns, and yes, of course, even cats and dogs. We want all of our Sims to share in the fun when these adorable infants arrive in-game.
Be sure to check out all those fun activities you can do with your infants and create your own hilarious and adorable moments.
I actually could cry. I'm so excited about this. I love this host, by the way.
And we're not even done! Remember one of the expansion packs we teased at the Sim Summit? Well, we might, maybe, possibly, probably have more to share.
Yes, please. February 2nd. February 2nd.
Ooh,
that's until
we're
in 2
just
days.
a wee bit early to the Michelson's house.
Oh,
so you'll have to come back on February 2nd if you
evil.
It's been an absolute dream to geek out.
Oh, I think it's playing again. Okay, well, I'm furious about this tease of the expansion pack. They were like, oh, the expansion pack. Oh, actually, we're gonna talk about it on the 2nd. Why? Oh, but the baby update. Okay, I need to like compose my thoughts. I don't know how much of my actual reaction I'll use in this video because most of it was just me staring or like awkwardly talking over them. So let's walk through what just happened. First of all, they started early and they never do that. And they always do a starting soon screen. They didn't today, so it just started happening. And this one was like way more produced than their live streams have ever been. I mean, obviously the Summit stream was produced too, but like normally, to give you an example of what we're used to, it's like a couple sim gurus sitting at a desk. This is them playing through high school years a little bit. So usually the live streams are like gurus talking about the pack. This one, they like hired a presenter, they filmed it, and it seems like maybe this is gonna be the new thing and how they go about this in the future, which is pretty exciting. They sort of introduced it as this new like behind the Sims thing they're going to be doing, implying that they're gonna do it frequently, and each time they're gonna talk about all of the Sims projects. So like obviously the Sims 4, but also the Sims Mobile and the Sims Freeplay, and Project Renee, which is the Sims 5. And they started with that. They just came right out with the Sims 5 stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I think half of what was so exciting about this to me was like seeing the Sim Gurus again. So this guy, Sim Guru Grant, was like a big deal at the Sims 4, okay? And years ago, he left the Sims 4 to work on a different project at Maxis. So we were all like, yeah, okay, so you're working on The Sims 5 then? Now, they obviously never actually said that until that Summit stream where they confirmed they're working on it. But now seeing Grant here, I'm like, we knew this whole time. But anyway, Grant went on to talk a lot about what's going on with this Project Renee stuff. Couple major highlights of that. Number one, he confirmed that it is years out, which we all knew, but it's kind of nice to hear them just say it and be like, okay, guys, this is not coming out anytime soon. They're just being really transparent with the whole process as they're working on it. He also mentioned how they did a play test of this already, and he sort of implied that they're gonna do a bunch of play tests of like segments of the game. So at some point recently, they did a play test of apartment building, I guess to give a small group of people access to like how their apartment tools work and how their customization tools work and stuff, and then they can take that feedback and then apply it as they're building the actual game. So it looks like they're probably gonna do more play tests like that in the future. I'm really excited they're doing that because I feel like it's gonna make the game so much better to have like people playing hands-on and giving direct feedback so early. Because right now it's so early days, like everything is gonna change. What we're seeing from the game is just not gonna be the same when it comes out. So like focusing player-based feedback is a big deal. They also kind of addressed the mobile thing. One of the biggest concerns that a lot of us had after that Summit stream was how they showed off it being cross-platform on mobile, which obviously made a lot of people, myself included, be like, whoa, okay, so how does that work? Like, how are you gonna play The Sims, like the full Sims game on a phone? But it sounds like they're prioritizing the full game on PC, obviously, just like they always have. What I was worried about is that we would get like a dumbed down version almost that was the same across mobile and PC. So like I feared that if it was gonna be on mobile and on PC, the PC would be like a mobile game. But from what he said here, it sounds like the full game will be on PC, but they're making like another version that obviously has a little bit less capabilities that you can also play on mobile. And he gave an example that maybe he's playing The Sims on his computer while his son naps, and then when his son wakes up, he could go and get him and then keep playing that same save from his phone, kind of like taking the full game and making it portable. They also talked a little bit about a lot of our multiplayer concerns, because a lot of us were worried that when you say like multiplayer, is it going to be like some sort of online, like all online nightmare? But he sort of clarified that The Sims is still The Sims, so there's still going to be a single player experience. You can just also play it multiplayer, and he said like with your friends. So The Sims is like never going to be an MMO because it just isn't one. And that was like my direct fear, that it was going to be some sort of like massive online multiplayer thing, and it sounds like it won't be. So hearing Grant talk in this was like very relieving to me. I feel like they kind of squashed a lot of the fears that I had, which makes sense. I mean, they probably heard all of us saying this and they were like, oh yeah, we should probably clarify. There was also like kind of a leak about the play tests, so I think it was smart of them to acknowledge the play tests were happening. We also got like a little tidbit of some extra customization stuff to look at. So you can see in this, they're like selecting different materials to customize this table. They even at one point pull up a color wheel. So this to me seems very similar to how The Sims 3 used to work. I hope that it's better, but this is how it used to work in The Sims 3, so I'm pretty excited to have that back. I think it's also important to keep in mind that this is like so early. The whole UI, the whole look of it is probably gonna change so much. I mean, we're talking this game coming out years from now. So from now to then, like it's gonna look completely different. We've talked a lot about that and about this Sims 5 Project Renee stuff in some past videos, so I can link a couple of those down below if you wanna go and watch them. I literally could just sit here and stare at this all day. I'm like so desperate for more information on this stuff. I wanna know what it's gonna be like so bad. But that's kind of all the tidbits we got about Project Renee. I'm guessing that we're just gonna keep getting fed like little tiny bits of info for the next few years. It's just so far away from release, they can't really share anything concrete because there probably isn't anything concrete. So what we're getting is mostly just like talking about the game and plans for the game and like really broad terms. After Grant left, they started talking about The Sims Mobile and The Sims Free Play. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't play The Sims Mobile or The Sims Free Play, so these things like don't really mean a lot to me. If you do play them, there was something about like a disco plumb bob. Also, I think Sims Free Play is getting like there's like a world expansion or something. It was kind of in one ear and out the other with that one. I'm sorry, I just was really worried about like babies in The Sims 5, so I was kind of preoccupied with that. They also talked about how The Sims 23rd anniversary is coming up. The Sims 1, the first ever Sims game, came out on February 4th, 2000. So it's been almost 23 years now, and they don't usually acknowledge the birthday. We sort of famously got a hot tub for the 20th anniversary of The Sims, which is a frequently made fun of update. But apparently The Sims Free Play is getting a new radio station with like some old Sims music added to it, like the Sims 2 theme song and stuff, which is actually kind of cute. It's sort of a fun way to acknowledge the birthday in like a small way. The Sims 4 already has stuff like that, but it sounds like we're not getting any big Sims 4 updates for this anniversary, which is not a surprise to me. We never do. I mean, we barely did for the 20th anniversary, right? And then after that, they showed off the infant update. Now, I definitely left in my reaction to that one because I was like near tears, as you saw the whole time they were showing that footage. I think the infants are a lot cuter than I expected them to be. I don't really know what I was expecting. I think I feared they would be scary, but they're not scary. The animations and the clothes they have are so cute. I kind of want to go back and like watch through this and sort of pause as I'm seeing stuff that stands out to me. Like, number one, we're in a crib. This was like my number one request for so long. I wanted a real crib so badly. The animations are so cute. It looks like this is a new rug, a new toy. This little basket looks new. Whatever that is new. This thing's new. Obviously the baby is new. The clothes are new. The animations are so cute on these. I'm seeing the new crib, but also this new mobile above it. This is like a new bookshelf, basket, wipes, this little basket. I think, is that star thing new or is it just a pink swatch that I haven't seen? This lamp is new and they just came right out and they were like, it's a baby. They know what they're doing. They know that we're all freaking out about this. Then we kind of got like a little highlight reel of some cast stuff so we can see a lot of the new outfits. There's some that they like converted from toddlers to the babies, but there's also a bunch of new things. Obviously this little bear costume is new. This thing, is it a playpen? Is it a crib? I don't know. It's cute. But she's breastfeeding right now. The baby spit up. It was a precious moment. Oh my God, is that a baby gate back there? After that, they like feed the baby in a high chair and it's covered in mess. And they also, I think after this, yeah, they show the bathtub and there's like a baby in a little seat in the bathtub. I don't know, it's just really cute. This looks like a party of babies. I don't know. There's just a lot to take in. There was a scary clown. I mean, like this new llama. Go back. This new llama. All the babies are sitting in high chairs. I don't know. It's just, there's so much going on. I want it so bad. I want this update so desperately now, and it's not coming out until March 14th. It's fine. I understand. I'm not surprised, unfortunately, but I want it like now. But after they did that little teaser trailer thing and showed us when it was coming, they cut to like a little reel of the Sim Gurus talking about the update and kind of like behind the scenes of it. And I thought that was really interesting. I know I included most of that already in the video, so I won't repeat it too much, but I really liked how they did that. I think it's really cool to see more members of the Sims team, and it's really nice to see the process that goes into making something like this and hear about their plans and their goals and some insight onto like the animations and the sounds of it all, because it is really hard to animate something like this and also to make it look realistic. So I loved seeing some behind the scenes on that. It's also really funny to see the voice actors doing the sounds, because if you didn't know, an adult human voiced these babies. An adult human also voiced the animals in the game. So like the dogs and stuff, that's a person, not a dog, that's a person. Also, seeing stuff like this, like some of the early concepts for how the babies will sit and cast, that isn't a thing that I really ever even thought about. But you're right, like how do you put the baby there? Because they're just kind of on the floor. So like how do you sit them in cast in a way that isn't creepy? That must have been, see? That must have been so hard. How do you decide how it's gonna look? I didn't need to see this, to be honest. This, I could have done without this image, but, and then towards the end, they sort of teased us a little bit with the expansion pack, which by the way, the host did a great job. She loves this, you can just tell. But they kind of teased like, oh, meet the family on February 2nd. So I'm guessing they're gonna give us a trailer. Unfortunately, I cannot help myself but from staring at this picture and trying to like break down everything that I see. Obviously, all of the new hair and clothes and things, the baby, but also this is a new door and these are new windows and they look like maybe some sort of craftsman style, which is so exciting because you all know this is like my favorite build style literally ever. I'm not kidding. Yesterday, I filmed a video that I'm posting tomorrow building a craftsman house. Like this was made for me. Also, like these little owls, we have a new curtain, there's a new plant, this is a new table. There's not much else to go off of, but that's a couple new things. And if they're saying meet the family on February 2nd, I feel like that probably is a trailer. And just judging off of this and like off of the other teaser we got, it seems to me that this is like a trailer teaser and they're probably gonna post the trailer on Thursday, and that's what the meet the family thing means. It's gonna be like a trailer about their family. I'm guessing the trailer is gonna be like some sort of family story about this family family, and it's probably gonna come out on Thursday the 2nd. So obviously I will be here making a video on that on my channel. So feel free to subscribe so you don't miss it. But that's all they gave us. They didn't give us any other teasers. They were like, hee hee, it's done now. You have to wait, which was mean, but it's fine because we did get a lot aside from that. So I'm mad, but I'm okay. That's all they officially told us. So now I want to speculate a bit more for a second. I'm sorry, but I have to. Before this stream, I had 2 ideas for when the baby update would come out. I thought either it would come out today and they would like show them off and then drop it today, or they would just tease it today and then it would come out right before the expansion pack, because usually we get like a pretty big update right before an expansion pack drops. I mean, that's happened with every expansion pack up until now. So with this information about the update coming out on the 14th, I wouldn't be surprised if this new expansion came out like that week, like on the Friday or something, basically at some point in mid-March, which is actually really soon. I'm really, really excited about this. I'm feeling really happy today. I feel like the stream was really good. I'm so impressed by like the higher production value. I really love the hosts they've been hiring. It's fun to see the sim gurus again. I hope they keep this up because this level of announcement streams is huge. I think it's a big win for everybody to be more transparent about stuff anyway, but also this is a great way to like hype people up for announcements and stuff, and it's just fun. They had like a little segment about teaching Simlish.
Before we jump further in game with the Sims, did you peep the Simlish I threw in there? It's okay if you didn't, because I'm not only going to tell you, but I'm gonna teach you a new Simlish word. No owl needed unless one wants to give us a call. But if you didn't know, Simlish is the fictional gibberish in-game language for the Sims universe, and the word I'm teaching you is yeba, which translates to hella, an adverb meaning very or extremely, or adjective meaning a lot of. For
I
example,
like this little like segment. Also, one small thing, Simguru Frost, I know you're watching this video. I like this shirt. Can I have this shirt? I would really like to have one. So I'm asking publicly if I can have one, please. It's just like a really cute color. I don't know. I like this shirt a lot. It looks comfortable. I am extremely jealous and I really would like to have one. There was also like a little tiny Bob Pancakes figurine. I'm like looking at the Sims 5. Skip past that. What I want is the Bob Pancakes figurine. Can I have the Bob Pancakes figurine too? Or like this Plum Bob pillow or this Plum Bob. Can I just please, can I have some stuff? Doesn't hurt to ask, right? I don't think I can have that exact one, but if you've got an extra. I love the stream, but if I could offer a suggestion for next time, this one did not have any closed captions. In fact, the Sim streams usually don't have any closed captions, and if they're going to be pre-recorded, that is something that is really, really doable. So I'd hope that next time they would hear that feedback finally and add them. Look, I pay someone to do closed captions on every single one of my YouTube videos, and I'm just me. So EA can absolutely afford to be paying someone to do it. There isn't really an excuse, especially after they've been told so many times they should add them. Just after I finished recording this video, they dropped a huge update, so I thought I would mention it just in case you hadn't seen. I actually made an entire video on it that I'm gonna post tomorrow because it was like so long. I figured I probably shouldn't lump these two things together. But in this update, they added a whole new cast category for medical wearables. In this category, we've got some glucose monitors, and they also added hearing aids in a ton of different swatches. Beyond that, we also got top surgery scars added to the base game. They also added a couple of clothing options, so we got this binder, which is a huge addition, and I mentioned this in the video that I'm posting tomorrow, but while I think this is great and I'm so glad they did it, I'm a little bit disappointed in the texture of it. I feel like, in particular, this swatch is one of the worst things they've ever made. I don't understand why it looks like that. I think they did a bad job and it's a little frustrating, but the existence of this item in general is a very good thing, so I don't want to take away from it too much, but I do feel like a few of their more recent cast additions have been maybe not so good quality-wise, and that's a little disappointing to me. We also got this shapewear added into CAS. It's got a bunch of pretty nice swatches as well, and they also added a base game light switch. I mean, this is not even like remotely as exciting as the new representation that we have in CAS, but this also is in the base game now, along with a couple other bug fixes. So like I mentioned, I'm gonna have an entire video on this update out tomorrow. I just talked for so long that I just had too much to say. There is too much going on today. I had to split it into two, but long story short, this update is huge and I am so excited about it. People have been begging for better disability representation in The Sims for so long. So to see that finally come is such a huge deal, and it gives me a lot of hope for the future. Like seeing this and seeing this whole new category added makes me really hope that we'll get more stuff like it soon. And also obviously more trans representation is a huge deal as well. When talking about it in the video that I'm posting tomorrow, I was like genuinely getting emotional thinking about how much this is going to mean to so many of you. So all in all, today's update update was huge. It is a really big deal, and I didn't want you to think that I like didn't see it or whatever. So I wanted to address it quickly here, and then we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But this video has gone on for long enough, so I'll stop here. Anyway, I think on that note, we have covered everything they have teased in this live stream today. We have a lot to look forward to right now. To make sure you don't miss future Sims news, obviously subscribe to my YouTube channel, because as soon as they tell us anything, I'll make a video on it. But also, you should probably follow the Sims on their socials, like on their Instagram, their Twitter, their Twitch and stuff, because then you'll see these things too when they announce it. Their name's just The Sims everywhere. I'll link their stuff down below too. And also my stuff. You can follow my stuff as well. But I know if you want to follow just them, that's fine. But thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. I'm serious. I've been sat here staring at their little set, looking at their Sims things, and I'm jealous. I like the Sims decals for the windows. I'd take one of those. I just want merch. I just want Sim stuff. I'm a little obsessed and I want it all.